Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It is Thursday, the 4th of August. The market's had a difficult day, but some of the stocks we followed did well. A lot of low-price stocks were popping. A bit worrisome to me, if you ask me. Let's go over some longs and shorts. On Acacia, you can see that the stock's been phenomenally trending. And when you look at this on an hourly chart, you'll see the trend a little bit more clearly. After the IPO, it popped, pulled back, done Brexit, but since then it's been running and doubled. As a matter of fact, it's holding up so well. Today it popped out and went up another 349 or 5.75%. And if you take a look at this pullback yesterday, that's where I would put my stop, underneath the 58 and 85 range or so. And if we can clear the 66.5 range, this may very well get a run through 70 into the low 70s. Say 72.3 is a potential target, something to keep an eye on. Stock we've been watching for quite a while, Alarm, has done it again and made another new all-time high. The stock was jumping at 90 cents or 3%, but more importantly, new all-time highs on the post-IPO, and I think this thing can extend into the low 30s. There's 10.7 days to cover on this one. Biotech ANIP, which you've been following for quite a while, is doing great in here. And you can see that the stock been trending beautifully, better than most biotechs, having gone from a February low of 27, today reaching 69. And there is some resistance up here, and the declining tops line comes in as well, going back years. So you can see that this is a tough area to get through, and if we can get through this quadruple top and this level, we may very well see this run into the 80s. Something to keep an eye on with almost 5 days to cover. ARRY broke out today. Looks like a swing trade from here. Did very well with 4.7 million. And now I'm looking for a run to the 5.25 half range, maybe 6. Almost 10 days to cover on this one. Oxygen, looking at the last couple years or so, last year and a half, you can see the stock has been in a beautiful rising channel. And if you go back, this is basically a new all-time post-public high. Today, gapping and running, $1.19 or 16.7%, 0.5%, excuse me. 1.5 million traded. That's the biggest volume on an update that I could find going all the way back. So either this is breakout day or blow off day. Something to keep an eye on, because going forward with about 3 days to cover, this may very well end up being a breakaway gap that thrusts the stock into a lot higher levels. And I would probably look for double digits around 10 or 11. Up next is COT. Now we've been following COT for quite a while. You can see that the long-term chart is beautiful. The breakout took place here, and multiple waves took it up to resistance, but it pulled back and did a retracement. The wedge formed, and then it broke out. But I think one of the keys to recent action is the move across this level right there. That was a key breakout day today, and now I'm looking for a run and a test of the 1670 to 18 range. Those are my next targets for this one on COT, excuse me. CWEI, well, this has been phenomenal. Let's take a look at it. Unbelievable move off the low, having run from literally the 6 and change range to 40, nearly 46. An 8-fold increase just since April. Phenomenal move. And it's still going. Matter of fact, today was a breakout day on up 421 or 10.6%. You can see how it moved across resistance. May very well test the next level. It comes in around 55, and then I'm looking for much higher. But let's just say for now, I'll give it a target around the 55 area. That's my next target. There's nearly 5 days to cover on that one. EBIO, I looked at this today, and when it started to move, I put a swing on it. The reason is it's just too compelling a pattern with great technicals, rising OBV, beautiful formations in the wedges and flags and stuff. If we can get this out over 454, I'm looking at a $7.5 stock, maybe much more. ELY, it was announced today that Nike's leaving the golf business. Amazing, but that does really, it's a major competitor for Callaway. So Callaway popped. It got all the way 11.5 and went to pull back. I gave you a buy maybe a little bit early. I think the stock eventually works its way up to 13, 13.5, and maybe we get it up to 15 over the next few weeks and months. ERII, very nice move on this one. Today it popped across resistance. I put a swing back on it again. As you know, we had a swing on it here and here. It looks great going forward. I would look for a test of the prior high at 1330. Beyond that, the stock would run to 1718. 5.9 days to cover on that one. And of course, one of our favorites, EXEL, raked it today, exploding up to 1166 after opening at 10 on a big gap breakaway on good news. 22.5 million shares. Very likely we get some consolidation here, but I think it works its way to 12.5, eventually 15, 16, and maybe on an intermediate basis we can see this up near 19. 7 days to cover EXEL. Now FIT looks like it's trying. I'll give it some credit. The bottom line is you can see that it broke out into the gap, and in order to fill that gap, it's got to make a move up towards 16.5. But I'm really looking for a move closer to 18.5, 18.75, where I think the stock may uncover more resistance. But from here to another 3 points with 5.2 days to cover. FIVE with a nice pop today, broke out of the ascending wedge, but pulled back. We put a swing on it, a little bit higher than that. Let's see if it gets an upside follow through. This is a one-day wonder, and we made a mistake. We'll see. The targets are 16, and then channel top at 2021. GoDaddy popped out of a falling channel today with a breakaway gap and jumped 347 or 12%. 4.9 million shares, the second biggest volume I've seen in this stock since it went public. What I'm looking for is a run to 33, 33.5 range, and maybe 35. 8.3 days to cover on that. GOL is a stock I've been following for a while. It's one of the Brazilian airlines, I believe. We had a nice run there. Long consolidation, breakout and wedge there. Another breakout and wedge there today. It looks like it broke out of the wedge again. And I'm looking for a move to 23.25 zone. MX, semiconductor stock with a breakaway move today. 2 million shares traded. It's the second biggest volume in a couple of years, or at least a year. I would assume we can make it up to 9, and we may make it up to as high as 10. That 9-10 zone is my next target. 23.4 days to cover. Are you kidding me? It should be interesting. Nano string with a big pop today, exploded from 319 to 23.5% with 7.5 days to cover. The biggest volume on an up day going back about a year. I'm assuming we're going to take a shot at this level right there where a couple tops exist. 17.5, we may see that tomorrow. But eventually, wouldn't be shocked, and my target is just under 20. As I said, 7.5 days to cover on that. NVIDIA continues to push after a pop, consolidate. It still looks like it wants to try my swing target, 59.60 zone, and we may get that as early as tomorrow. 5.32 days to cover. PCRX. Well, here's a stock that traded a year and a half ago at 122. It came all the way down to 30. Now you can see that the long-term declining tops line here comes in around 59, 58, 59. But my near-term target is 50. This was a major breakaway move, 714 or 19% on 3.6 million. I think the shorts are trapped here. Looking for a quick test of 48.5, and that's followed by 52, and then 57 or 58. Let's watch this one. PODD, major move today out of a long base, year and a half base, with a breakaway gap and a big move and close near the upper end of the range. That was up 639 or 18% on nearly 4 million. So that looks like a breakaway move. The target now is 48. TSAM, very similar chart, breaks out of a base with a breakaway gap and runs. I think we're going to see something around 17 and maybe close to 19 short term. 6.5 days to cover there. Ubiquity Networks, one of our swing trades, doing very, very well. And after a 1, 2, 3, 4 wave, the fifth wave is taking it to the top of the channel. So at this point, I would think that perhaps you may see some pullback consolidation, but I would look for a move eventually to the 49.50 zone. 19.23 days to cover on that one. WB, boy, is this swing trade acting well for us. Broke out, flagged, consolidated wedge here. Another flag there. I can see the stock easily making it to 43, maybe 45 over the near term. 3.72 days to cover. And on the long side, the last one I'm going to look at today is XPO Logistics. This integrated shipper with a massive inverse head and shoulders may make a move that eventually could take this one way up into the 50-52 zone. But for now, my target's 40-41. 11 point some odd days to cover. Let's look at some boxes shorts. Just to have a dozen or so. CMG still looking ugly. You can see it smacked up right up to the top of the channel and came down. What I need for this to do is take out 385. And once it does that, 84 3/4, I'm looking for 356 and a lot lower. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't shock me to see this in the high 200s, 270, 280. Cray Computing breaking down. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, and wave 5. So I wouldn't be aggressively shorting it here, as the stock's already made a 5-way move, and it's had a big drop recently from 32 and change down to 20 and 2063 today. So a big 11 and 12 point drop. I would look for some consolidation or flag before I get short, perhaps up there 23.4, and if that occurs, look for a rollover towards 18. Luxoft was very successful for us here when it rolled over, but it double bottomed and ran back up to the top. Right near declining tops line resistance. Notice the roll down almost 2 points today. I think it retests 47.8 and maybe gets down to 40.41. Virtusa, VRTU, has been on my short list since I spotted the breakdown and the bear flag, then a bear wedge formed, dropping from 35 down to 26. I think it has more room to drop to 22.3. And that's it for today, both long and short. This is HB signing off. Have a good evening.